Hi guys, this is Dango here from Rocky Valley server. In this video, I'm going to try to summon Gizlof. Gizlof is very strong and very relevant for the APX arena for the season 1. And I actually struggle a lot about if I should summon him or not. He's a very strong character, but the problem for Gizlof is that he's not very relevant in season 2 because summon mechanism will be changed in season 2. But if you are aware, you should still summon for Gizlof because he is just super strong in season 1. And let me check. So looks like we still don't have the other third class for Liana. So Liana can't do summon now, but when Liana can do summon, and then you put Gizlof and Basil and Lana in your team, you will have 4 summoners in your team, and that will going to bring huge benefits. Yeah, so people are already starting to summon for Gizlof and Vela. Vela is the very interesting character. He can do mass teleport for your team, and mass teleport makes your move very unpredictable, which is very interesting. But still, but Vela does not have the one cost heal skill, so it is a little bit hard to use him. And his faction is legend and strategy faction. If you run strategy team, then he is a very good choice. But I don't really run strategy team. So yeah, let's start. Let's see if we have some XSR here. No SSR. Okay. Again. Yeah, I may not go very far this time because if you really want to use Gizlof, you may still want to pull Gizlof at 5-star. Oh, here we go, Gizlof. Yeah, very good. Okay, so I already put Gizlof within 20 pulls. I think maybe I should just stop right here. I don't really care about Vela, cause Vela also needs to be 5-star or 6-star to be actually useful. See. And for Gizlof, I mean, if you are going to use him, you actually don't really need to invest stone on him, right? The skill that you are going to use for Gizlof is just the skill that he learned from level 1, which is this summon. And this summon skill is very interesting. This is actually one of the summon skill that can summon a strong creature, because the summoned thing will have the exact same intelligence, defense, magic defense, and health point compared with Gizlof. So the summoned, I don't know what it called here, but the summoned creatures here can actually deal a significant amount of damage to the enemy, and then the summoned creature can be transformed by Gizlof. If Gizlof deal damage to other units, then the summoned creature will learn some new skill, which is very interesting. And if you don't plan to use any runestone on Gizlof, you just go this line here. you just pick up this faction buff. Yeah, and this faction buff is very strong because this faction is very strong faction, as we can see here, and it is actually called Mystical Realm, and it includes Burn. Burn is very strong with the sword dance, and Basil is also very strong. So from now on, if you use Basil, you can no longer carry faction buff. You can, if you like, together with Gizlof, you can just bring 2 AoEs, and more importantly, you can carry 1 summon, and 1 either AoE or like just a sleep, and the faction buff will be just a Gizlof, and with Basil summon and Gizlof summon, you can have 2 summon on your side, which means after, like, if you move first after 2 turns, you can create like a 3 character move after move, like a 3 characters move chain. So makes your battle basically like a auto arena battle. Yeah, Gizlof is more for PvP. He has basically no use in PvE at all. He's terrible in PvE. Maybe if you use him in PvE, but just for faction buff. He can provide faction buff for Zareda, which is very strong in PvE, and Bernhard is not terrible in PvE. Basil is pretty strong in PvE as well. And Jajular is mainly for PvP as well, and you can see, and Gizlof also provides faction buff for Jajular. And Labmata is very strong in PvP, I mean, not super strong, but still okay. So, so this faction is very strong. And in the future, and this is the other reason that I summon here, in the future, this faction will keep having more and more strong PvP units. So basically, this is a very strong PvP faction. But Gizlof is still rated very low in Season 2, just because, if you check the talents here, he has no way of increasing damage dealt or intelligence. So his damage in PvP battle is also very low. His main damage comes from his summoned creatures, normal attack, and in Season 2, when summon is fixed, he becomes less viable. I think I may just try to see if I can get 1 more Gizlof from like 20 or 30 summons, because Gizlof is actually useful at 4 star. 3 star is still hard to use. See if I can get another SSR. No. The SSR rate in this game is still just not very good. See if I can get. Still no SSR. I think maybe I will grab them at the end. I don't plan to drop money recently on this game. Like I'm not going to try to summon for a 6 star Gizlof. But I will still buy the dailies and some of the weekly packs. So in the end, maybe I can grab the Equal of Light. Oh, here's the new SR, Serena. She's a okay tank for Legend faction. But if you have land use, then there is no point of using her. But if you don't have land use and you use Sigma for your team, then she is not a bad tank to pick up. Okay, terrible rate. I didn't see SSR so far. Okay, so I also pick up another character Villa. I think I'm just going to stop here because in this game, if you try to pull high star, it may end up very challenging. And this Villa here, so Villa is also mainly for PvP also. He's not very strong in PvE because he has no one cost heal skill, as we discussed earlier. And in order to use Villa, you actually need to spend the runestone here, because this mass attack and this tactical retreat are both very important. So this tactical retreat is the mass teleport we were talking about. So basically, you can activate to teleport all the allied units within range that are below 100% health point. So one of the tricks to use the scale is that it can only teleport the damaged units. It cannot teleport units with full health points. And then after they retreat, they can also heal equals to 3 times intelligence of Villa's intelligence. The other skill that you will always carry is this skill. This is the regroup skill. So this is basically a gain skill that can be only useful when your unit has no troop. So this skill works well with Zareda. After Zareda kills her troop, you can just use regroup on Zareda, and she can move again. So this is like a strong skill, but the limitation is huge. It is not very easy to use this skill. And this skill, although you can still use this skill to heal, but this skill cannot remove debuff, and it has a 2-turn cooldown. So it is very hard to just use this skill to. Yeah, it is very hard to use this skill to actually heal. And he has the other skill, which is mass heal. If you use him in PvP, you probably want to carry this skill, because otherwise Villa is very hard to heal your team. Yeah, and for Gizlof, you probably just want to unlock Lisla and maybe try him a little bit in PvP. If you really enjoy using him, then you will also unlock this route. But but those skill you will probably not going to use those skill in PvP battle. Cause if you use Gizlof, he will also need to call faction buff, and then after you bring the summon skill, you will only be able to bring another AOE skill, which is usually to be this Dark Dragon Breeze, which is a very huge range. It's 3 times 5 area, and so it just works very similarly to Lemata's AOE skill. So it has like 3 times 5 range, and it will also it will also have 1 debuff to your enemy. So this skill, faction buff, and Dark Dragon Breeze, and the summon skill will always be Gizlof's choice. Yeah, and actually the troop you bring with Gizlof is going to be this Hellfire Archer. if you check his bond, he has no attack bond for his truth. So the ability of using Gizlof to deal single target damage is very very low, and we can even see here, like from class mastery, there is no intelligence for this road. So basically, like really, if you want to use him, you really don't need to invest any stone. If you unlock this road, it can only increase the survivability of your Gizlof. And the weird thing is actually you don't want your Gizlof to survive, right? You want Gizlof to be killed actually, so that he can trigger the effect from the faction buff. We can see there is an effect here, right? When you die, the cooldown for all elite skill is reduced by 1 turn. So basically, after Gizlof is killed, he can provide a reduction in cooldown for all of your elite units. And then, if we check his talent here, after he died, when a hero dies, summon a constructor and carry out 2 random renovations on it. So I don't know why it say when a hero dies. So it's basically mean when Gizlof dies. So if your other characters die in a battle, he will not be able to summon any of these construct. So basically, when Gizlof dies, he will summon 1 construct, and this construct will have exactly the same stats compared to your Gizlof before he dies. So and then and then the summoned units will have 2 renovations on it. Renovations are the way that the summoned creature learn the skill. So if you have 6-star Gizlof, I believe here it becomes, instead of 2 random renovations, it becomes 5 random renovations. And then the summoned unit can be very strong and a big threat to your enemy. So basically, in PvP battle, people's priority on killing Gizlof is very low. So if you are fighting against a Gizlof, like if you are fighting against a team that have Gizlof, you don't really want to kill Gizlof until the very end. You want to kill his other units first, and then you start targeting on killing Gizlof. The sequence or the order of killing Gizlof is very low. You generally don't want to kill him too early. So in this case, I don't see much points of unlocking this road for Gizlof. Because usually you just don't kill him, and the enchantment you use on Gizlof is just a full moon enchant. He can use red moon, and then the armor just like basically the best armor for mages, like tennis robe, and then tennis headgear, and then any of the the gear that can increase intelligence can be used here, mainly holy rings. So basically just a red moon, and then tennis armor, tennis height, and then just a holy ring here. I don't think I'm going to try to pull more carpets because I'm still not a big whale, and I don't think it is very viable for me to pull him at 5 or 6 star. But I think I may still try this summon and this faction buff a little bit in my APEX battle and see how it goes. The other problem for Gizlof is that if you check the bond, so Gizlof's 4th bond will need Omega's help, right? 4th bonds increase health percent, defense, and magic defense. So it is actually like even you try to build a very tanky Gizlof, it is not very possible because Omega will not be released anytime soon. He will be released after 3 months. So that's actually that's after the grand final of the APX arena. So even for the grand final, your Gizlof will not be able to have this defense bond available. But but if you are well, I mean, you still should use him because he is very strong, and this health bond just doesn't matter that much, because as we said earlier, Gizlof is not a high priority in killing list. Your enemy will not try to kill your Gizlof, so this health point defense doesn't really matter that much. And we can see one of the reasons that Gizlof lacks the single target attack ability is that his third bond does not have any of the attack in this bond. It only provides the soldier defense and magic defense, which is kind of a trash bond, right? You mainly want your troop to have more health points and hopefully some attack from third bond. And the third bond here is just a defense and magic defense, the most not usable bond for Gizlof. And you have to have level meta to unlock his fifth bond. And this bond is the bond that you want to have for Gizlof because it affects Gizlof's intelligence. And int is still very important for Gizlof because the summoned units will have the same int compared to Gizlof. So this is why you want to have level up this bond if you are using Gizlof. Okay, so that's about it for today's video. I think we just pick up these Gizlof and Veiler, and I will see how they be used in PvP battles. But I don't think I should spend more summon on this banner to get them at higher star. It's really more for whales. Like if you are not a super big whale, then you will not likely to pull them at higher star. But if you get him at 4 star or above, you should still try to use him because this faction buff is just super strong, and the summon skill is always very useful in APX arena. So that's about it about today's video. Thanks guys for coming, and I will see you guys later.